everyone, I'm Shadashura and welcome to Sada Learning Hub. Today's session we are going to learn the most important JSP interview questions. See here, I'm going to cover the most important 15 JSP interview questions in this video. The first question is, can constructor be used instead of init method to initialize the servlet? Yes, it's possible, but it is not preferred because init method was developed because earlier Java versions could not invoke the constructor with the arguments dynamically. So they cannot assign the servlet config. Today, however, a servlet container still calls only no argument constructor. So there is no access to the servlet context or a servlet config. See here, yes, it's possible constructor be used to instead of init method to initialize the servlets. But it is not preferable. Why? Because it is not preferable. Why? Because Java versions could not invoke the constructor with the arguments dynamically. So they could not assign a servlet config. If it is not called the constructor automatically, it doesn't assign the servlet config object. In that situation, however, servlet container still calls the only no argument constructor, so there is no access to the servlet context and the servlet config objects. The next question is explain lifecycle methods. If you see in the JSP, there is a three lifecycle methods are available. Those are the first one is JSP init method and J underscore JSP service method and the JSP destroy method. If you see JSP init method, the container calls this is initialized the serverless instance. It called only once for the servlet instance and the preceded every other methods. If you see the JSP init method, it is used to initialize your variables. Whatever the variables you want, you can put all those things into your JSP init method. Those are automatically initialized. Why? Because the JSP init method, whenever the JSP page is requested, underscore JSP service method. This is not overridden by the developer, it is overridden by the container. The container calls this for each request and passes it one to the objects. Next one is JSP destroy method. The JSP destroy method, if you want to destroy anything like database connections, and if you want to close your file operation files objects, we can use the JSP colon destroy method. It's also possible to override by the developer. It is called by the container just before destructions of our JSP instance. See here, there is a three methods are available: JSP init method and underscore JSP service method and the JSP destroy method. The JSP init method, it is also possible to override by the programmer. It can be used to initialize your variables, and underscore JSP service method, it's not possible to override by the programmer. It is only it is override by the container. And the next method is JSP destroy method. It is used to whatever destroy code means file closes and database connection closes. We can use the JSP destroy method. It is also possible to override by the end user. It is also possible to override by the programmer. The next question is explain the JSP output comments. They are the comments that can be viewed into the HTML source space. The next question is define expression. See here, an expression tag is used to insert the Java values directly into your output. If you want to display a variables into your JSP page, we can use an expression language and we can we can use our expression tag, and we can display our whatever the expression you want to display. You can use the expression tag, and we can calculate and display those values into your page. It can contains the scripting language expressions that is evaluated, then converted to the string, and then inserted where the expression comes into our JSP page. See here, the expression tag is used to insert the Java values. Java values means here it may be a variables, or it may be a Java expressions. It may be a expressions values directly into your output. It contains a scripting language expressions that is evaluated, then converted into the string. First, it is going to evaluate the expression. After that, can be converted into the string, and finally, it is inserted where the expressions comes into your JSP file. The next question is define composition. Composition has a strong relationship with the object than the aggregation. If you see composition, it is a strong relationship. The strong relationship means if you see a department and the student. Without students, a department is going to exist. It is the without student, a department going to exist. It is an aggregation. If you see without department, a student is it possible to exist a student? It's not possible. That is called composition. Composition has a strong relationship. The next question is define the JSP scriptlet. If you see a JSP scriptlet, a JSP tags that enclose the Java codes into your JSP page. If you want to write a JSP code into your JSP page, we need to use a scriptlet tags into your JSP page. If you want to write the Java code into your JSP page, we need to write the scriptlet tag. If you see, this is the scriptlet tag, we need to write the Java code in between these tags. The code is written in the scriptlet and executes the every time when the JSP program is going to run. Means a JSP is going to run. The next question is how can information from one JSP to be passed to the another JSP? If you want to pass the one JSP to the if you want to pass the information from one JSP to the another JSP, we can use the JSP colon param tag. The JSP colon param tag is used to pass the information from one. If you want to pass the information one page to the JSP page, we can use the JSP colon param tag. You can pass the information. The next question is explain the uses of JSP colon useBean tag. If you see, the JSP colon useBean tag is used to create a Java Bean object into your JSP page. And also, whenever you are creating a Java Bean object, at the same time, we can mention the scope also. There is a four scopes are available into your JSP page. That is, those are page scope, application scope, session scope, and a request scope. If you want to create a Java Bean object, if you want to use Bean in tag into your JSP page, this is the syntax JSP colon use Bean, and ID is equal to whatever the Bean ID you want. This ID you can use after into your JSP page. Without ID, it's not possible to use this Java Bean object into your JSP page. The next one is when whatever the object you are creating, we need to specify the scope of that particular object. The next one is which class you want to going to create an object. That is which Java Bean class we are going to create an object. We need to give that class at here. We need to mention what type of that class. We need to mention that here. This tag creates an instance of a Java Bean. It first tries to find if Java Bean instance is already existed and assign the storage of references in a variable. When before creating a Java Bean object, first it is going to check JSP container is going to check that particular Java Bean object is available or not. If it is available, it doesn't create the Java Bean. If it is not available, it is going to create the Java Bean. The next question is explain handling of runtime exceptions. See here, if you want to handle the runtime exception into your JSP page, we need to use the two tags error page and is error page attributes. The error page attribute is used to uncatch the runtime exception forwarded automatically to an error processing page. If you want to pass the error pay if you want to pass the error information from one JSP to the another JSP, we can use an attribute called error page attribute. We can mention which page we are going to redirect that error. The next, it is redirected to the browser to the JSP page error.jsp. If any uncaught exception is faces during the request handling, it is an error processing page. The next question is why does JSP service method starts with an underscore but other lifecycle methods do not? Whatever content is made JSP page goes inside the underscore JSP method by the container. It is overridden by the compiler. It is overridden by the container gives an error, but the other two life cycles can be easily overridden. So underscore shows that it cannot be overridden this method. If you see in the JSP lifecycle methods, there is a three JSP lifecycle methods are available: JSP init method, underscore JSP service method, and JSP destroy method. If you see JSP init method and JSP service method, it is possible to override, but coming to the underscore JSP service method, it's not possible to override that particular method. It is override by only the container. That's why that's why they people are mentioned underscore before the JSP service. The next question is explain the various scopes values of JSP colon useBean tag. There is a four different scopes are available for the JSP colon useBean tag. If you see the application scope and the request scope and the page scope and the session scope, whenever you are creating a JSP colon useBean tag, it is automatic. The JSP colon useBean tag automatically creates an object of whatever you are given Java Pozo class. Automatically it creates that particular Java Bean object. Whenever we are creating the Java Bean object, must and should we need to give the scope of that particular we need to give the scope of that particular Java Bean. If you see, there is a four scopes are available for that particular Java Bean. There is a application scope, request scope, page scope, and session scope. The application scope means that value whenever you are creating the Java Bean, that will be available for throughout your application. The request scope means that Java Bean object, it is only available for throughout the request. And the page scope means that object Java Bean object, it will be available only for that particular page only. If you coming to the session scope, that particular Java Bean object, it is available for throughout the session object. The next question is show the two types of comments in the JSP. If you see in the JSP, there is a two types of comments are available. Those are, the first one is JSP comments, the second one is the HTML comment. The JSP comment is ignored by the JSP page, means JSP compiler, and the HTML comment, these HTML comments are ignored by the browser. The next question is can static methods be override? It is just a basic Java question. We can declare a static methods with the same signature it in subclasses, but it is not considered overriding as there won't be any runtime polymorphism. Hence, the answer is no. It's not possible to override the static methods. We can declare a static methods with the same signature in the subclasses. It's possible, but it is not considered overriding as there won't be any runtime polymorphism. So it is not possible to override the static methods into your JSP. The next question is explain the JSP directive. A JSP directives are the messages to be JSP engine. They serve as a messages from page to the container and control the processing of the entire page. They can set global values like class declaration. They do not produce output and are enclosed. If you see, there is a JSP directive. Means JSP directive means JSP directives are messages to JSP engines. They serve as a messages from page to container and control the processing of the entire page. Whenever you are putting the JSP directive into your JSP, whatever putting your directives into your JSP, those are just messages to be JSP engine. They serve a message from page the container. They serve message from page container and control the processing to the entire page. They can set the global values like class declarations. They do not produce the output. If you see, page directives do not produce the output. They can maintain the values. The next question is explain the page directive. If you see, page directives inform the JSP engine about the headers and the facilities that the page receives from environment. It founds at the top of all JSP pages. If you see page directives, if you see the page directives, a page directive, a page directive informs the JSP engine. It informs the JSP engine about the headers and the facilities that the page receives from the environment. It is found at the top of all JSP pages. If you see in the page directive, there is so many attributes are available. For example, is page, error page. There is a two attribute are available, is page and error page. The is page and error page, it tells to the engine, and it tells to the engine and it facilities that the page receives from the environment. Mean it is saying that if you are putting is error page is equal to true, means it is giving the information to the JSP container. What it is giving the information? Page attribute is error page is equal to whatever the current page, whatever we are putting is error page is equal to true. That page make it as an error page. It gives the some information. It receives from the environment. It founds at the top of all JSP pages. This is about most important 15 interview questions. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Next video I am going to cover next 15 most important JSP interview questions. Keep watching.
Thank you so much watching this video. Hope this lesson helpful to you. Keep watching our lessons. Keep writing to us. Do not forget subscribe our channel Sada Learning Hub because we have many sessions that would help you to develop our skills, and I will be back soon. Till then you take care. Bye bye.